Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a story that's, well, it's powerful but also deeply tragic. It's about the bond between a human and a wild animal, really complex connection, and what happens when trust breaks down. We've got some incredibly detailed sources for this one, really letting us get into the specifics of a key event. Our aim here is to unpack the story of Marina Ellis and the orca Takara and pull out the critical insights.
Absolutely. And what's so compelling, I think, is how it highlights this fundamental tension, doesn't it? This very human need to connect with nature versus the inherent wildness of some animals. We'll be digging into the details here, not just what happened, but maybe get closer to the underlying factors the sources point to.
Okay, so let's start with Marina Ellis herself. Who was she? How did she end up at Ocean World with Takara?
Well, she was born in San Diego, 1994,
Hmm.
and apparently from a very young age just drawn to the ocean massively.
Thinking marine biology first, right? But then performance sort of called to her.
Exactly. That passion for performance kind of merged with her love for marine life. And it led her, at just 19, which is incredibly young, to Ocean World, the marine park famous for its big orca shows.
Her dream job, basically.
Pretty much. And that's where she met Takara.
Takara, okay, tell us about her. The sources paint a picture of quite a character.
Oh, definitely. A 6-ton female orca.
Hmm.
Known for being, well, brilliant, highly intelligent, but also unpredictable.
And this wasn't just a standard trainer animal thing for Marina, was it?
No, far from it. The sources mention Marina often called Takara her ocean sister. She seemed genuinely convinced that Takara responded to her voice, more than anyone else's.
So to the public watching the shows, this must have looked incredible, magical even.
Utterly magical. They had these routines, swimming together, performing. It looked flawless. Audiences loved it. But, and this is the crucial part highlighted in the sources, behind the curtain, staff were seeing warning signs.
Okay, what kind of signs?
Well, Takara apparently had a history of aggressive behavior. Not constant, but moments. Things like refusing commands, sometimes sudden tail slaps against the water, or surfaces, even lunges that seemed unexpected.
Lunges. That sounds serious.
It does. But the reports suggest Marina, despite seeing these things or perhaps being told about them, she consistently sort of brushed them off.
How? Why?
She seemed to hold on to this really strong belief. The sources quote her thinking that love and consistency could tame even the wildest spirit. She truly believed in their connection.
Wow. That's a powerful conviction. But chilling, given what we know happened. Did the sources say anything about maybe pressure from the park? Or a culture that maybe downplayed risks?
That's a really important question, and yes, they do touch on it. While Marina's personal belief was clearly strong, internal documents apparently point to a culture at Ocean World. A culture where the focus was more on managing what they saw as the orca's moods, rather than maybe recognizing deeper behavioral shifts.
So, like, keep the show going smoothly.
Kind of, yeah. There are indications trainers might have been perhaps subtly discouraged from making a big deal out of minor incidents, to keep that public image of harmony intact. So Marina's own dedication was real, absolutely, but the environment she was in. It might have unintentionally reinforced her tendency to explain away those red flags.
Which brings us, unfortunately, to the day itself. July 18th, 2021.
A Saturday afternoon? Packed crowd, apparently.
Yeah, huge anticipation. Marina gets in the water with Takara for their final show of the day, and they were working on a new routine, something meant to be really spectacular. A synchronized swim, then this dramatic underwater push launch.
But something wasn't right from the start.
It seems so. Takara hesitated. She was circling slower than normal. Marina tried to coax her, whispering calming cues, trying to get her back on track.
And then, it just happened.
Instantly, without warning, Takara lunged, grabbed Marina's arm, pulled her straight under the water.
Oh, God. The accounts describe sheer chaos then, right? Screams from the audience.
Total chaos. Screams, yeah. Trainers rushing to the pool edge, banging on the water, hitting the emergency alarms, trying anything to distract Takara.
But it didn't work.
No. And what's truly horrifying is how long it lasted. The sources state the attack went on for over 13 minutes.
13 minutes.
So Takara just kept thrashing Marina underwater, ignoring every signal, every command, the alarms, everything. There's mention of security footage, too, which is just chilling. It apparently showed Marina's body surfacing briefly at one point, limp, face bloodied, before Takara dragged her down again.
And the other trainers couldn't go in.
No. Park policy strictly forbade it, a rule put in place precisely because of other incidents, other deaths involving orcas in the past. They were helpless on the edge.
So by the time Takara finally let her go,
It was far too late. Marina had suffered, well, massive internal injuries, multiple fractures, and ultimately she'd
it
drowned.
was devastating.
The news just exploded globally, didn't it? Vigils for Marina, protests outside Ocean
The
World.
huge public outcry, demands for marine parks like that to close their mammal shows entirely.
And the internal investigations, what did they find?
Some really disturbing things came to light, according to the reports we reviewed. It turns out Takara had been showing clear signs of stress, likely linked to her confinement. These weren't just moods,
Documented stress.
documented behavioral issues, yeah. Staff had actually reported specific red flags in the weeks leading up to the attack. And maybe the most heartbreaking part, Marina herself. Apparently, she had privately expressed fear about Takara's behavior to some colleagues.
She was scared, but she didn't stop working with her.
She refused to step away. It seems that powerful belief in their bond, her love for Takara, the sources suggested, essentially blinded her to the danger.
And Ocean World's response.
They had to suspend the orca shows, of course, for several months. And Takara, she was moved to an off-display facility away from public view.
It really comes back to Marina's dream, though, doesn't it? That core belief in connection, in harmony between people and these incredible animals. It was such a powerful ideal she held.
It absolutely was a beautiful ideal in many ways. But this is where the sources provide that critical, painful counterpoint. Marina saw love and connection. But the internal reports, the behavioral data, they paint a picture of chronic stress, of the inherent wildness of a top predator reacting to, well, unnatural confinement.
So the insight isn't just about the danger.
No, it goes deeper. It's about the limits, maybe, of projecting our human desires onto wild animals, especially ones kept in captivity. Takara's aggression wasn't presented as just random malice. The assessments linked it directly to the stress of her environment.
And exerting control, and maybe what responsibility do we actually carry when we try to bring wildness into our world, especially under constraints? It's definitely something powerful for you to consider as you reflect on this deep dive.